We're live, I think. I never know because the number always a ray of sunshine. I never get to see like
pessimist paging.
Oh, is that what they call you?
Well, on opposite day.
I never know because the numbers up at the top don't always match, like when we're live. So, what's up, guys? Hello, Weather Girl Flash fan, Victor D. Chinchilla. Thank you for becoming a member of Team Airrick. Canada Graphs, Barry Allen Official, Angel Louise Serrano, Holy Machiavelli, Packs Up, Ethan. Thank you guys for being here. This is the live after party. We've got 3 topics we're going to talk about in tonight's episode. Of course, we're going to talk about Stargirl, the Brainwave episode that I think was an amazing episode. I think it had a lot of good stuff in it. We're going to talk about the new Batman Gotham, like Gotham 2.0 series on HBO Max that ties into the Matt Reeves world in the cinema. And we'll talk a little bit about the new Batwoman. I'll save that for the end.
Ooh, edgy.
I don't know. Save it for the end. We'll talk about it after Stargirl. So
I have to intervene.
Yeah.
I'm on my last 2 bites of this burrito. And there's just a dodgy black bean. Like there's a dodgy looking black bean here. I'm not too sure what's going on. I think I'm still going to eat it though. Because you need your fiber.
Okay.
Yeah, I just thought I'd update you because
burritos. Yeah, did you get it from like a chain or was it from like a local restaurant that makes like authentic stuff?
It's a chain here called Guzman Y Gomez.
Oh,
they donate to Mexican schools if you buy a burrito. So call me the charitable man.
Okay. Hello, Amethyst. How are you doing? Good to see you. What are the benefits of being a member? It supports the channel. Well, it does support the channel. You get behind the scenes videos, random videos from me. You get some exclusive content. You get emojis. You get badges, and you get some early access. Not my reviews, but some other videos you'll get early access to. So that's the benefits of being a supporter. So
and the chalking tutorial.
Yeah, that too, of course. So, hello, Tom. How are you doing? DC Potter Disnerd. Good to see you guys. So, I guess we should probably, because we still have some people on the West Coast watching Stargirl, so we'll put that in the middle of the sandwich here. Let's talk a little bit about this TV series for HBO Max that is connected to the Matt Reeves universe. And I guess it's like a Gotham 2.0, I'm assuming. How do you feel about this? How do you feel about this tie-in to the to this universe, for this cinematic Batman universe?
I mean, I don't mind it. I just think the show in general is just a Gotham reboot. It's like them trying to do what Gotham failed to do. Because but it's also important to remember what they're trying to do is what Gotham did and people didn't like. So that's why they changed Gotham.
Right.
People didn't like it. They didn't like this whole thing about being in Gotham City, but they're not being a Batman, just hanging out with the cops. I guess the only thing you got to rule out is a young Bruce Wayne, because it felt a bit forced having to constantly follow this young Bruce Wayne post his parents' murder. So I guess they cut out that thing.
My question is this a prequel series? I was reading through this article and I didn't really understand like how far back it was supposed to be. It says our collaboration with Warner Brothers and DC allows us to elaborate and grow fan connections across the past for years to come. This is Batman as most audiences have never seen before, and we know fans will want to spend more time in this new world inspired by the film. So I mean, it's just a series set in Gotham about Gotham PD. That's pretty much what it is. And you're right. That is what people hated about Gotham in the first season. They wanted more Batman lore because that's why people ultimately like Gotham, because it is connected. I don't see how this is going to work without those elements. And I think a TV to movie thing like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., I know people throw that around a lot because it's kind of quote unquote all connected. But we saw that they had trouble after like the second season in keeping everything tied in with the movies. I guess the only reason this may actually work is because it is connected to like HBO Max and it's more like a mini series, you could say, based on the movies. But it also sets the movies up to follow whatever the show sets up because of that reason. So I don't really know how I feel about this. I don't know if it's something that I'm like excited about. I don't really like procedural police dramas anyway. So for me, it's not really something that I'm excited to just jump into. But I do like Jeffrey Wright in the role, so that might be the only thing that would make me check it out, honestly.
Yeah, it's like because the thing is, it's sort of when the news came out, they didn't really elaborate, but they said it was a lot of confusion because it was like, oh, it's set before the Batman. So people thought, oh, it's okay, so it's Gotham because there's no Batman, but the Batman movie is in his second year, so we could assume that this TV series takes place in his first year. So you're seeing the villains coming to terms with this Caped Crusader being there, and that maybe it's the police force adapting to that change, which I think would be fairly cool. So I wouldn't mind it if the show is pretty much it starts and the Batman starts as the show starts. So the first appearances, the first encounters with Batman are in these first episodes and that first season, or if it's just a singular series. But you don't see Batman, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, or if you do see him, it's like from far away, it's like shadowed off,
like a silhouette or something of him. In the background.
Pretty much that. And then you're more dealing with what the Batman does through the villains and through the crooks and everything like that, whether it's gang members, like people that work for the Penguin and stuff like that. That could be an interesting way to do it, and I think that's probably the best way they should do it.
Right.
But I think them greenlighting a police show at the moment is a bit...
Yeah, that was a little weird to me, and we're, we won't dive too much into it. I think people kind of get the gist of that, but I thought the same thing. I was like, we're getting cancellations of shows that sort of quote unquote glorify that. So I thought making a show that is in fact following the police force. I mean, I guess the only thing about it that sort of makes it different is it is a fictional world, but I still think that the contents of it is very much,
And the thing that goes in their favor is that it's always been presented in pretty much almost all media where Gotham's appeared that Gotham is corrupt anyway. So I don't think they're going to be trying to paint them in, oh, look, we're the good guys. Look how honorable we are, getting the puppies out of the kitties out of the tree and puppies out of the sewers and stuff like that. So that's one thing that goes in their way. So if you look at it that way, then I don't think it's that #edgy, as Eric would say.
Well, either way, I mean, of course I will check it out because, I mean, why not? But I don't know what my expectations are for it because I'm not really sure exactly what it's supposed to be. If it's going to be more related to like the ongoings of the police department and maybe some like just random criminals, or if it's actually going to connect. Because the thing Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. caught a lot of flack for was that it was so completely detached until it had to be connected. So I wonder if the series is going to be like that, where it's just, it only connects to the universe of the film when it matters. Like, and everything else is completely separate in its own thing. We'll have to wait and see. I don't know what my expectations are, but it's just kind of a random thing to greenlight. Honestly, it's probably inexpensive to do as well, since there's not a lot of special effects for it, which is probably budget friendly for HBO. Any other thoughts about it, or not really?
The only suggestion and only recommendation I can make for it is Eric cast as Bane? ?
Me as Bane. Do I get to chalk? Is that part of is that in the contract there?
Yeah, that's your threatening move.
Adam Grunther, 199 super chat. Thoughts on the latest episode of Doom Patrol? So I didn't like the one before this, and I think at the very beginning of this episode, there was like the sex ghost in the corner or whatever. I'm like, can we not do this? Please, can we not do this? It freaks me out. It's not something that I find funny or anything like that. Just me personally. But I like the way this episode wrapped up because it does set up, I think, the big stuff happening in the back of the season with Dorothy and Jen. Well, of the episode. Was that a burp? Let's hope that was a burp.
It was something. Do you ever get those like nose burps where you go,
oh, okay, yeah.
It comes out of your nose like, it was one of those ones, and I was like, my eyeballs, I feel like they're going to explode.
No. All right.
What did I think of it?
Thoughts on Doom Patrol. What did you think of it?
What episode was it? Because I finished season 2 because they gave the rest of the episodes out.
Oh, did they? It was the what was the name of it? Finger Patrol, the one about the finger and Cyborg's hanging out with Cliff and all that.
Yeah, I thought it was good. I thought it was funny. The Cliff and Steel, Steel and Stone was hilarious.
Yeah. So actually, this is why I was kind of frustrated with the episode prior to this one, because I thought this was a strong episode of Doom Patrol. It really like leaned into what the show does really well. And of course, Candlemaker looks crazy. I can't wait to see what they're going to do with him. And I'll have to get spoilers from you afterwards, I guess. But
well, the one thing I can say, because it's not really a spoiler, it's just getting you guys ready if you watch Doom Patrol, they didn't get to finish the season. It's literally missing the finale. It literally is missing the finale. So it gets to episode 9, there's a cliffhanger, and it ends. Because from what I know, they only had a day or two left to film.
Oh,
the whole
my
series
gosh.
for the entire season.
They're going to go back and fix that late. Because I mean, if they have to do that, I'm assuming they can come back and film for that, right? I mean,
you would hope so, because I don't even know. Because if apparently they need a day or two left to film, so I'm surprised they didn't even put the episode out there. Because surely they wouldn't have left something so vital to the last minutes or the last day of filming. I couldn't. You're watching. I was like, oh, okay, and I was like, no, wait, hold on. This is the 9th, and I was like, oh my god, you ended there.
Thank you for becoming a member.
Doom Patrol didn't get Supergirled. Doom Patrol literally got like amputated.
Yeah,
it's weird. It's you're watching and be like, seriously, if they don't get renewed, holy poo.
Yeah.
If they don't get renewed, it'll be the biggest, like, wow. And I think they will get renewed because they do have a panel at DC Fandome.
Right.
But then again,
I don't see why they wouldn't, because the show is very well received. So,
well, the thing is that by the time the season ends, I think it would only not Doom Patrol. I think DC Fandom's only like a week or two after the season ends. So technically they wouldn't be pressured at that point. Like if it ended today or something and there's a month or something until DC Fandom and it's not renewed by that point, then it's a big question mark.
Right.
But yeah, like if it doesn't get renewed, and from what I know, I don't think it's actually doing amazing on HBO Max in regards to viewership.
Oh.
But I'm basing that off social media interactions as well, because their social account isn't really popping. Hashtag what's popping. Hashtag warheads.
Okay, so Gary Gammon with a $4.99 super chat. Barry's rule is to never kill, but what about if someone kills Iris and his flash getting delayed later than January? So it's a two-part question. We'll answer the second part first. We don't know.
No.
We don't know. I'm assuming.
No, I think the answer is just no.
Yeah. They will put something out in January, even if it's an animated version. It's coming out. Barry, as far as like killing Iris, I mean, we kind of saw the Savitar storyline because that is what that whole season was about. So, I mean, I don't know. Barry's not perfect. I think that anybody who has that personal rule, it's a bendable thing within their minds.
I don't know. The thing is, it's more to remember, he didn't kill the dude that killed his mom and his dad.
Right. Yeah. No, I mean, I get that. I'm just saying that, like, I think in terms of like the show, they could write it in to make it.
They could write it in, but I'd still be like, well, God,
yeah,
someone took a turn.
Yeah, exactly. He's not Felicity, okay? So shots fired. Scott Edwards with a $4.99 super chat. What kind of story do you want to see from the Batwoman and Superman crossover? So this is a tough one because we don't know anything about the new Batwoman. So I mean, we know she is, but we don't really know about her. So I don't know.
If it was Kate Kane, I'd want like a detective thing, but I have a feeling this Batwoman we're going to get now isn't going to be very detective based. I think it's going to be more, I'm a superhero, if that makes sense. I think that's what you're going to see with
because she was supposedly inspired by Batwoman, but that doesn't necessarily mean she's going to do the things that Batwoman did. So she's like a brand new superhero, and we'll talk more about that when we get to, like, I've got a story I want to talk about that I saw about her. But I mean, right now for me, I feel like since we don't know her vibe, or what kind of energy she's giving off. I don't really know what I would want to see from the crossover. I can't think of any story from the comics that makes me go, yeah, I want to see that. They could adapt like a Batman Superman story, but I don't know if they may do it. I don't know, but we'll have to wait and see. But thank you for the super chat there. I think I got all of them at the moment. All right. Let's talk a little bit about Stargirl. We are after 12 now, so spoilers ahead. This episode was called Brainwave, and this was the dive into Henry and his onset of powers and dealing with what's going on with his father in the hospital. And then we had bits and pieces of other smaller things that sort of came together into one thing at the end. What are your overall thoughts on this episode? I didn't think this one, let me tell you mine first, but I didn't think this episode was it wasn't one of those weeks where I'm like, this is the best episode yet. Like, I didn't feel like that. It was definitely a good episode, but I don't think it was as strong as some of the other episodes that we've had. Would you disagree with that? Or
I didn't think it was like very action packed, but I thought it was a really good episode in regards to diving into certain character things, as well as planting a lot of seeds for episodes to come. I think it pretty much planted all the seeds needed for the last episodes of the season. Like, it planted stuff to do with the janitor, planted some stuff to do with the ISA and their plan, just in general, some Dragon King stuff, obviously the Barbara stuff, the Icicle stuff. It just planted a lot of seeds going into those last handful of episodes, where now those episodes can literally go bang, 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 bang. Hey, Eric, get slapped. Like, that's pretty much those episodes now, because they've
almost like
lined all the ducks in a row.
Yeah, this is almost like the big gulp of air before you go diving underwater, which is kind of what we were doing.
Or it's the arm stretch before the chalk.
Yeah, before the chalk, exactly. So this was the episode that we get. I think all the shows do them. I don't know what they're necessarily called, but they're basically like the setup episodes that we get, where it sort of gets everything ready for whatever the remainder of the story is. I
think the correct term is it a bridging episode?
Is it? That might be one of the.
I think that's probably the best way to put it. Like, everyone crosses the bridge and we're here.
Yeah. So I'm very excited about where we're going with that. You're right. It wasn't a very action-packed episode, but I liked a lot of the moments in it, because there were a lot of character moments. And I think I talked about this briefly in my review for the episode. Was it just felt like there was a lot of moments where characters got a chance to sort of push the dialogue between the two of them. Like, for example, the dinner scene at the house, which had a lot of great moments in that scene. You get that conversation with Cameron and Courtney that sort of sets up what's going on with them. You get the conversation with Jordan and Courtney. You get a conversation with Courtney and Pat. You get some stuff from Jordan's parents. So it was a lot of information being thrown around there that sort of felt like it was just really well written. Like, that whole scene was just really good. The dinner scene between them is so creepy. That little quote unquote prayer they did at the beginning, I thought was crazy. As far as like Icicle's powers, do you think we're going to find out what actually caused them, or do you think it's like a genetic thing that's passed down from family member to family member? How do you think that works? In regards to the show, I mean, I'm not sure in the comics what the story was, but in the show,
in the comics, he just uses he's almost like Captain Cold. He uses a gun, and then it's his son that gets the ramifications of him using that gun. It changes his genes. So when he has a son, his son is like has the like inbuilt icicle powers.
This one seems almost magical, like something that's come from their family heritage, because they mentioned, what is it, Nephilim in their prayer? That's the ice giants. So
maybe it has something to do with like maybe, or even it was just like it's just super religious and he made himself like that or something. That, if anything, they could do that in season 2 with Icicle Jr., because maybe like, why the hell am I like this? And then they explain, they go down that story route. If anything, I'd actually prefer if they do that, because there's already, I think, a lot going on. So I don't think we need that. And that's something you can actually delve deeper into in season 2.
Yeah.
And even if Icicle, because I don't know what they're going to do with the older ISA. I don't know if they're going to keep him around, or because we don't know how the season ends.
Right.
I don't think there's going to be like a mass killing of all these people.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see what they do there, because I don't think they would be the villains for season 2, but I think they might still have a presence. So
yeah,
I have to wait and see.
Another thing that I really enjoyed was the stuff with what is it, Dr. Ito? How does he pronounce his last name? Ito?
Dr. Shiro Ito.
Yeah, okay. Dragon King.
In that voice.
I thought it was interesting that he was being so polite at the table with the other ISA members and that he wanted to be called by his name and not by his code name. And so I thought, this person is so evil and so horrible, but yet they're so polite and so like upstanding. It was just such a great like flip of the coin for that character for me. And that's what kind of the things I love with characters, when you get an unexpected turn to a character that you don't even see coming at all. And he's punishing Cindy now, who, by the way, is studying abroad according to that, her school paperwork, but she's going to be really pissed. I don't know how this is going to work out for her. I definitely don't think she's going to spend the remainder of the season locked up. So I think unless there's some brainwashing technique that he's going to use on her, I think she's going to be really angry. What are you expecting out of that story?
Well, I think she's going to be locked in. They have a lot of pent up aggression, and that aggression is going to be directed towards Courtney and the JSA.
Right. So you think this is going to make her even more vicious than she already was? Basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty much.
I'm just really sad because I like her. That was one of my gripes about the episode, was I wanted to see more of some scenes with her locked up and how it was affecting. But I think we'll probably get that over the next episodes. But I did miss that a little bit this week. So that was one of my drawbacks there. But what's interesting is I was talking about Courtney's impulsiveness and how she doesn't listen and she makes a lot of bad decisions. None of these things, and there's a lot of comments where people were saying, well, you have to remember she's brand new to being a hero and blah, 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 or whatever. I can still remember that and still not find it a good quality about her. Like, I think it's okay to understand that she's new to all this, but it's also okay to understand that she's not necessarily doing a great job, at the beginning. I thought that she just continues to show that her impulsive nature is not something that I guess is endearing in superheroes. We have so many that do it. How did you feel about it this week? Because it was something that kind of frustrated me with the whole Henry thing, because I felt like she was pushing a little bit too hard with that, especially when it came to Yolanda.
I think the thing with Courtney is that she always just tries to see the good in people, like that everyone's not. Well, she even says it to Henry in that conversation. Not everything's black and white,
right? So
I think that's a good quality of Courtney, where she can see that there is good in people. Like, you could say that, like with Rick, she did that, and even with Yolanda, like Yolanda was like, "Oh, get away from me," but she still went at Yolanda.
Right. Yeah, I agree with that.
I think it's just a quality of Courtney's that is a pro in this situation, because if she wasn't like that, then you don't have Rick on the team and pulling out Yolanda, if not anyone.
In this situation specifically, though, I feel like she wasn't thinking about Yolanda at all. And
no, I think it was more like
it's one thing to want to give somebody the opportunity to change, but that person has to want to change. Like, you can't go to someone and force them to change. So if there was an opportunity for him to be part of the team or to help them, I think that's fine to extend that. But I also think that you have to consider that Yolanda, this has defined her. I mean, look at her life now. This situation has literally changed her entire life at school, which is basically her entire life. And she trusts you. She joined you. She wants to be part of the JSA. It's almost like taking advantage of that trust by just expecting her to go, yeah, you're right, we should just let him in. I just thought that was it just didn't feel right to me, coming from somebody that she was considering a friend. I don't think a friend would do that. And I think Courtney was completely missing the mark on that with that idea. It's great to give him another chance. I think in this instance, that's what kind of bugged me a bit, was that it was Henry and Yolanda. And we saw Yolanda show up. What did you think about that scene with her at the hospital where she was like, I should kill you, and all these things? Some people were saying that she's still in love with him, and that it's just her basically saying I love you by doing what she's doing. I didn't get that feeling.
I didn't get that. I think it was more that the JSA is her shining light at the moment, and it's trying to disconnect from stuff that Henry did, and he's going to be mudding it all up by potentially coming in.
Right.
So it's pretty much like dimming down her light. Like they've did that in, like, what was it, last episode, the episode before, when Courtney was trying to get the stuff back off him. It's like, well, no, this is the change my life. It's the only good thing about it. So why would she want the reason that her life is bad to be a part of the thing that's the only thing that's good, if that makes sense?
We got a couple super chats. Let me jump down. I'm going to get the two after this because there's two that are not about Stargirl. There are two that are Stargirl. So let me get those first, you guys, and then I'll go back to the other ones. This one's from Gary Gammon. It says, could Stargirl's dad be the janitor, not Starman? I don't think so. I don't think Sir Justin is her father, but it's possible.
I can pretty much say that you'll see her dad in episode 11, I'm pretty sure. By the sound of the synopsis and lining up with the comic book, her dad's showing up in episode 11. I don't know who it's going to be, but it's episode 11. It'll be a hashtag dab moment, I think.
Okay. Anthony Belcher with 199 super chat. How come Icicle didn't recognize Pat since he worked with Starman? I don't think Pat was in the field with him all the time, which is why it was such a big deal for him to be there at the mansion that night. I think that he was kind of like just a helper guy. I don't think there was actually any combat because Pat doesn't know how to fight, so I wouldn't expect him to be out in the field fighting. So I don't think he would recognize him. Any thoughts on that question at all?
Yeah, and also it was like they probably would have encountered each other like a hardly ever. Even that night when he got Starman out of the thing, that could have arguably been the first time they met, and it was in the middle of a battle. So
yeah,
and also you could say the same for like Brainwave. Like he had a picture of Brainwave, and it's just Henry King Sr. just has a pair of glasses on.
Yeah, so because Brainwave doesn't even have a mask. So
yeah.
So
if anything, it's probably like the least one about Icicle and Pat.
So we had a couple of big things that happened. Obviously, Barbara finding out that Courtney and Pat were hiding something from her at the end. Do you think this is going to change the dynamic between Pat and Barbara and drive her away from him? Or do you think she's going to just accept it and be like, it's okay, it's fine? How do you think it's going to play out based on what we know so far?
I think she'll be concerned about the whole superhero thing, but I think she's not going to believe about Jordan.
Okay.
I think she might think that Pat's just jealous or something like that.
Right.
And then there'll be a moment where it's like, oh, I am Icicle. You just got fooled.
Yeah. And then at the end, of course, we see that after Henry freaks out and kills the lawyer with like a psychic, but I think he killed the lawyer, right? I mean, I'm assuming that's what happened.
Yeah, some people saying that it was his dad, but I was like, I prefer if it was Henry.
Oh, yeah.
Because I don't know why.
Yeah. I didn't think about that. That's a good point.
It seems I don't know how it could be his dad.
Yeah,
it could be, but I don't. Yeah, it just seemed.
I got the impression it was supposed to be Henry, but that's just me. But either way, his dad wakes up now at the end, and this is after Dragon King has told the rest of the ISA that they can use Henry Jr. because he's got powers, and it doesn't matter if his dad's awake. Now his dad's awake, and the crazy thing is Henry knows who Stargirl is, and he knows who Wildcat is now. So it's not going to take long to like connect the dots on everybody else. And since his dad can read minds, there's no way that Henry technically should be able to keep that from his father. So this is going to set up a lot of stuff in the next episode. Am I reading all that wrong, or does that sound about right? I mean, I feel like that's the direction we're going.
Yeah, pretty much.
So do you think that Brainwave is going to be upset that the ISA just kind of let him rot in the hospital and didn't try to help him? Or do you think he's going to understand because that's just the way they operate? What do you think's going to happen there?
Well, they said the fiddler tried to wake him up, so he was just in a deep coma. So they tried. What can they do?
Well, I mean, I feel like the only other member that could have done anything would have been Dragon King. He seems like he's got genetic stuff that he could do or try, and I don't think he tried anything.
Yeah, but I think they still got to go undercover. Like, the body randomly disappeared. Like, he's meant to work there and everything like that. So
yeah, maybe, but I think saving him would have been more important. We'll figure it out. I don't know. I think he might be a little bit upset about that, but we'll see how it goes down. More Stargirl questions before we move on. Let's see. Go up here. No. Yeah, we have a couple here. Staggervore with the 49 super chat. Were the two heroes in the JSA photo Green Arrow and Speedy? In the JSA photo?
I think you mean Seven Soldiers of Victory.
Yeah, I was going to say. Yeah, no, I think that was like Crimson Event. Wait, was it Crimson something?
It was Crimson Avenger, Wing. Green Arrow, Speedy, Shining Knight, Stripesy, Star Spangled Kid, and the Vigilante.
Okay, so Green Arrow was in the photo then.
Yeah, right. They say Robin Hood though. I have no idea why they didn't say Green Arrow and Speedy, but they mentioned everyone else.
That's interesting. It's not like they wouldn't have the rights for that character, so that's.
Well, my only thought is that maybe they were just like, oh, it's self-explanatory. But the thing is, it wasn't a color photo either, so and like the bows aren't super evident. Like the only reason, so like.
Shane with a $2 super chat wants to know if that image will lead anywhere. I mean, I don't know. We might run into those characters, but I'm assuming if they were still around, they would be doing something, but maybe not. Do we know why they all disappeared? We know what happened to the JSA, but not the Seven Soldiers, I guess.
Well, if it's anything like the comics, and they Pat refers to it, they versed like a villain that almost destroyed New York, and I think that's meant to be Nebula Man, and Nebula Man pretty much has the ability it can just be like a time travel thing. So in the comics, when they destroyed him the first time, they got like scattered through time. So the Green Arrow thing, when she calls him Robin Hood, is obviously just a reference to the fact that whatchamacallit, like Green Arrow is like sort of based off Robin Hood and looks like him, but also in the comics, Green Arrow gets sent back to like medieval England and he poses as Robin Hood.
Okay.
In the comics. Pat doesn't go to the present day. He goes like to like ancient Rome or something like that.
Now, is this like a new reboot story, or is this a story from like back in the golden age?
It's like this is a while ago. This is like what is like Pat and Star Spangled Kid get separated. I can't remember where Star Spangled Kid ends up. I know they're pretty much all separated. Like I think, where does Speedy go? Speedy goes to he goes somewhere weird. I want to say I don't want to say dinosaurs, but he goes somewhere weird.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right, so that's it for the episode. You guys in the chat, drop what your scores are. What did you think of this episode from 1 to 10? And
thanks, Bob. Jesus Christ. No, all right. She knew the history. She knew he time traveled.
All right, so we've got some questions about DC Fandome here from Chalk King, a $5 super chat. At DC Fandome, what do you hope to find out about our favorite things? Stargirl, Flash, and Batwoman. Also, Earth 2 Green Arrow, please, and Earth Apart number 4. I don't know how much we're going to know about these shows. Batwoman, we're going to probably get a lot of information about the new casting and the direction of the show. I don't know about Flash. Stargirl, they might have some story information because I'm pretty sure he's written like 4 seasons, 5 seasons, something like that already. So they may have some of that. I don't know. What do you think? Any thoughts? Is anything we may see? I don't think it's going to be very much.
Flash, you might get a trailer because they've pretty much filmed the episode.
Right.
Batwoman, they might show Javicia.
Maybe in a costume. Maybe they've done the new costume.
Depending if they were able to do a suit fitting by the time.
Maybe
Stargirl, they might announce when their season 2 is going to come out and when they might go back to filming. Supergirl, you get nothing. Legends,
Superman and Lois might have something. Like we might get information about that. Maybe.
I wouldn't. Maybe the casting for Morgan Edge. Maybe that's the only main thing they have left to cast. But maybe a new Superman suit if they do that. But even then, I don't know. Like Flash, you're probably going to get the most because they actually have footage.
They're using the footage from the episode. Yeah, I forgot about that. Gary Gammon with 1 super chat. How many episodes will they have when they go back on? So we talked about this earlier in your stream about I guess he means the Flash. And I think you were saying that you're expecting 18 or 19 in season 7, and then
18 sounds likely considering the filming schedule.
Okay, so maybe more, but probably no less than 18. I'm guessing because I know that you were saying they're going to have to take some breaks, and I remember reading about that as well. Because there's just no way they can avoid some holidays and stuff. So
I think it's more like Batwoman will. I don't know. It depends on with the Flash if they have the certain things that usually hold up Flash episodes like March Madness and stuff like that. Like Batwoman will be halted for at least 3 weeks, so or maybe even 4 at some point throughout that beginning of next year. But the other shows, I'm not too sure. It just depends.
That's what we just did, Gary. Thank you so much for the super chats. I appreciate it. Josh O with a $2 super chat. Opinions on Cindy. I love both your videos. I think she's a great character. She's probably one of my favorite characters on the show, honestly. What do you think about her? About Shiv?
Yeah, she's good. Like, obviously they're setting her up to be, I think, a more of a main thing in season 2. But I think she's good from what we've seen so far.
Tom here says, did y'all see Watchmen as having a panel at Fandome? Do you think that means we're getting a season 2? I don't know. I think that didn't the creator say that he wasn't going to do anything with season 2, or he didn't have plans for season 2, and nobody involved with the show wants to come back unless he is involved in season 2? Have you heard anything about this? I mean, I think it may be just a panel to bring light to the show, because I know the show was free over a weekend or something a few weeks back. So
yeah, I don't know. It could just be maybe. I have no idea. I honestly have no idea what they want to do with it.
Yeah, Think Noodle says, I think Fandom is primarily movie stuff. Oh,
probably the other way around.
Let's see. There's another comment up here.
Unless you mean new footage, then I guess it's sort of hard because there'd be like 2 trailers and then maybe a special footage for movies, and then I guess announcements, but you wouldn't get any footage.
Yeah, Laura E here saying Stargirl this week was good, but not much action. I agree. Victor wants to know how Stargirl will end this season. I mean, didn't you say that probably the comics, like if you go and read that, you might get an idea of how it's going to end?
Yeah, you may as well just wait. As I said, don't read the comic now. If you haven't read it yet, don't read it, because what's the point? You're just spoiling it for yourself. Like, it was at the beginning of the season, then fair enough if you do it because it's time.
Yeah.
And you'll catch all the references and stuff. But if you read it now, you just honestly, I honestly call it poo head move if you did it, if you read it now. Like, you just be ruining it for yourself. So you may as well wait.
Gary with a 99-cent super chat, just supporting the channel. Thank you so much, Gary. I don't see a question, so I'm assuming. Captain J10 with a $2 super chat. Why doesn't Courtney have a picture of her dad? I think there is one in that little locket, right? But it's just not.
That's
a good
it.
Picture.
That's the issue, though. It's on that locket, so it's not very detailed. Yeah. It's like
That's the only one, and I'm assuming that there's a reason why. I don't know why they wouldn't, but we know that's where the picture is.
I am interested because I have a feeling they could do something that would make people sort of line up with Courtney and her thoughts and who she thinks her father is, and then do a bit of a flip, and it involves makeup. I am actually intrigued to see what they will do with that reveal, which looks like it's going to be in episode 11. And I'll have to wait and see. It could be a hashtag floss on expectations.
Look at this. Stargirl is one of the best DC shows. I mean, I'm not going to disagree.
Well, Eric loves Supergirl season 1. He loves it. Legends of Tomorrow season 4.
I caught a lot of heat for my review of Supergirl season 1, which was not very good.
Legends of Tomorrow season 4, loves it. Flash season 5, wow, he's obsessed with that. Arrow season 4, top of the charts.
Caught me red-handed. Summer of the Reaper with a $10 super chat. With Kate Kane gone, it's safe to say that Supergirl and Batwoman won't be the core of the crossovers moving forward, like Oliver and Barry were. Who would you want to see as the focus for the crossover? I think they could still do Batwoman and Supergirl as the core. I mean, we don't know. We really don't know enough about this new Batwoman to say that she wouldn't blend with Supergirl.
I think I said this in my stream. They've literally met twice.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think it's not like you're missing out on, like, oh my God, 10 years of friendship and it's being written off. They literally met twice.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't think you're going to be missing too much.
To be completely honest, and based on the description of Ryan Wilder, right? I feel like she's a better fit for Kara Danvers, like in terms of like being friends. I feel like those two characters could be friends, whereas I feel like Kate and her there wasn't much of a friendship there, honestly. Just based on the description alone. I don't know how it's going to play out when we get the shows back. but I'm just saying it sounds to me like they've got more in common. Any opinions on that at all? Do you think this could be a good thing, a bad thing? I didn't necessarily think that Kate clicked with Kara like Barry and Oliver did. Honestly.
I don't know. It wasn't on the level of Barry and Oliver. I thought it was okay, and you could have done something with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, they've met twice. Like you're not really losing too much.
Okay, so let us talk a little bit about the new Batwoman. We've been kind of briefly going over it. So this news came out right after we did our after party last week. So we haven't had a chance to talk about it live. So you guys can ask questions if you'd like down there about thoughts and opinions on this. So the new Batwoman is Javicia Leslie, and they're saying it's an original, unique character in the Arrowverse. I think you said that you would not want this to be Tiffany Fox, or that it doesn't make a lot of sense to turn her into Tiffany Fox, correct?
I don't know. Yeah, making her Luke's sister, like, it just
they've done crazier things. I'm just saying it's the CW.
But it's also just like you've already got. They wouldn't. I'll explain this now because it's something I'll eventually say in here. They were never going to make it anything related to a character. It was always going to be this completely new character that came in. And I saw this thing where like people were like, "Oh, this character will only be here for one season," and they're just making sure they cast Kate Kane correctly. They're spending their time. I was like, mate, they had enough time to create a completely new character, go through the casting process, and pick the character. Mm-hmm. And they knew that Ruby was leaving already. And they obviously couldn't do the casting process until that Ruby stuff was official. Otherwise, it would leak. Mm-hmm. And they couldn't have it leak. They had to go on their own terms in regards to bringing that information or that news that Ruby, or the announcement that Ruby was leaving. Mm-hmm. So they would have known X amount of months before the announcement that Ruby wasn't coming back. If they wanted a new Kate Kane, if they wanted Kate Kane to be Batwoman, mm-hmm. they would have recast Kate Kane. Right. They obviously wanted to create an original character which allows them to tap into the diverse market.
And they don't have to pay royalties to a name character. They don't like
they'll still have to pay royalties. They've already paid for it. They have to pay for the Batwoman licensing.
Right. But the character of Kate Kane now, they're not tied to any weird comic book stuff like with this character. They're not owed anything in terms of that.
Yeah. I think it's more, but I think in regards to anything money wise, it doesn't matter. It's more just like, I guess, expectations from a fan view.
I think it would matter with money, like with this character being used, not Batwoman, but the Ryan Wilder character being used in like crossovers and stuff. If she appears, but she doesn't suit up.
If she appears on other shows.
Yeah.
If she appears on like, Superman and Lois, then they save money on that because it's an original character. Right. That's why Diggle appeared so much on Flash and stuff.
He's an original character. They didn't have to pay.
He's an original character. There's no real ties to the comics. It's all the people that created the character are also tied to the Flash and the Arrowverse as a whole. But yeah, like Kate Kane won't be Batwoman again. Right. I'd be shocked if they even brought Kate Kane back onto the show at all.
Right.
Unless it's like series finale.
This is the weird thing about it. UNE Music said this was sudden thing. I don't know if it was, are you talking about her Ruby leaving? I don't think it was as sudden for the producers as it was for us. That's just my thoughts on it. Or if you're talking about the casting here, I also think that this was probably in the works for a while, but I don't know for sure.
Yeah. Like the fact that there was like, I couldn't believe there was controversy around this. Like, it was so obvious that when they said it was Ryan Wilder and it said any ethnicity in the description, that they obviously wanted to make Batwoman a diverse character. For me, I thought it was going to be a Latino or Hispanic.
Yeah, you said that
because you've already got a lot of you've already got the black leads on pretty much all the shows. Mm. A lot of the shows, like the male lead on Batwoman is black. Right. And then you got Black Lightning, Iris on the Flash. But if you look at the Hispanic or Latino representation, there's none. So I honestly thought that was the route they were going to go down. However, the actor or the actress, might I say, pool might not have been deep. And I remember saying in a live show, I think it was here, I think they were always going to hire within the Berlanti circle. And she's a Berlanti. She was already in the Berlanti circle. So it's not a shock casting when you look at the different traits, if you want to call it. So she was already in the Berlanti thing. Her show got cancelled, so she was available. Like, if her show wasn't cancelled, it's a different actor.
Right.
It's not her. So that's like everything lined up. All the dominoes lined up and they all fell correctly.
Mm-hmm.
It would be interesting. I wonder if hello Earth 3, is anyone there?
Mm.
Hello?
Yeah.
Oh, you've answered with your eye patch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, hold on. Oh, okay. That's interesting.
What's
that? I don't believe you just got cast in Earth 3 in the Batwoman role.
Oh, yeah. Who?
You have a guess.
I guess in the Batwoman role on Earth 3?
Yeah.
I don't know. Grace Randolph.
Wrong. Carlos Valdez.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I have no clue. Like, so for me with this casting, there was a lot of controversy. Honestly, all the people that were going to make negative videos about it, everyone that I expected to make negative videos about it, they did.
Oh yeah,
so that was there.
I was honestly, like, who's? But this brings up another conversation, and it's going to be hilarious when it gets, because I think the people that make these videos have pushed themselves into a corner,
mm-hmm.
and they're pretty much going to expose themselves,
right?
Because what are they going to complain about for season 2?
Yeah,
because a lot of them were complaining that it was Ruby Rose.
Yeah, exactly.
But she's not in the role anymore.
There was so many negative Ruby Rose videos around Batwoman, and every week when they complained about Batwoman, it was always, oh, Ruby, she's not great. And now they're complaining about, Javicia before we've even seen anything. We don't even know what this character is going to be about, and there's already negative videos about it. And I just was like, I kind of called it. I knew it. It's fair enough if you want to talk about like the fact that you're going to miss the Kate Kane character because maybe you're a huge fan of Batwoman and Kate Kane. I get it. I totally get it. There's a precedent for that, and I understand it. But I think going after this new character for picking up the mantle, like, mantles of characters in comics get passed around all the time. It happens all the time. So them casting it a new character, brand new character for the show, who isn't Kate Kane, I think it's fine if it works. If this soft reboot works, and I'm going to give it an opportunity to work, I think it might be a good thing for the show. Will it screw up a lot of the storylines? Yes, probably. But I think at the end of the day, what other option do they really have? Honestly, I mean, I just don't think that they were going to, like, I thought Kate Kane recasting would be fine, but that wasn't, when they released that press thing, we knew that wasn't going to happen. Yeah. So
Kate Kane recasting was the logical option. It's the easy option. It, and if it's made wide enough on the news, then it's an easy thing. However, it's obvious that they wanted to make Batwoman a diverse character in regards to ethnicity.
Mm-hmm.
So as soon as that Ryan Wilder character description came out, or the casting description, should have been obvious. That's why I don't know why people were shocked and like caused this uproar when the news came out. It's like, hello, knock knock, anyone up there? No, it's empty. Walnut brain. Like, there's nothing up there. I couldn't believe it when people were shocked. Now, I did say I didn't think they were going to choose a black actress. I thought they were definitely going to go down the Latina route, just because there's literally no Hispanic people in the Arrowverse.
Yeah, but that was really the only shock for you, was that one.
Yeah, that's the only thing.
Yeah.
But it was between. They could have gone Asian, I guess, but I guess when you go like Ryan Wilder, I don't know, but then again, I don't know. Who even knows if that's going to be her name? I think Ryan Wilder is a crap name, personally. Right. I hate the name Ryan Wilder. Hopefully they change it. I don't know what they'd change it to.
So this is interesting, and I was just double checking on this. First, let's address Laura's comment here. I wish they would kill off Kate instead of a weird mystery of her leaving. Like, this is the thing that kind of bugs me, is they're not going to kill her off, so she's going to be gone, and we're not going to ever really get closure or proper closure for that. I don't think on the show.
They would be better They'd be better if killing her.
Yeah, I agree.
Look, if you're not going to, because they're not going to bring her back.
Exactly. Sure. That's the thing. They're not going to, but they're so worried about the fan backlash from killing off Kate Kane that they're going to just make it a messy story for no reason other than that.
The recasting Kate would have been easy because it's not, there's really no mess, because you just got to advertise the hell out of the show and make it clear this is who Kate Kane is now.
Right.
But with the Ryan Wilder thing, I think we're set for about, I would say, 3 episodes of really messy storytelling.
Right.
No matter what, no matter how good the writing is, you could get I don't know who, the best writer in the world. And I still think it's going to be about 3 episodes of really dodgy and messy writing.
And you know what? She's probably going to catch the heat
clean.
from the haters. The haters are going to call it out, even though there's nothing she can do about it. That's just the way it's going to be.
Yeah, I think especially because it's all going to be revolving around her.
Mm-hmm.
And so hopefully that audition scene is not in the show. It's really bad. It's really bad, the audition scenes.
No, we'll see.
Yeah. The actual concept of the scene is okay, but the lines are really bad. And the audition scene for the original Batwoman was used in the show, which was a good audition and ended up being a good scene on the show. However, the audition scenes for Ryan Wilder, wow.
Never used them on the show? Never?
I would know. They're really bad.
Captain J Tim with the $2 super chat. Are they going to change the suit style, color? I'm assuming she'll get a brand new suit. I don't know how much it's going to be different from the Batwoman suit, but I can't imagine bringing in a new person to reboot the character and not giving her a new suit. She has to have a new suit, right?
I think she'll wear the Ruby suit for the first. I think they're going to do exactly what happened with Ruby's Kate Kane in season 1. You know, she wore like the sort of the tailored Batman suit. I think that's what she's pretty much going to wear Ruby's suit. Right. Obviously, be tailored to fit her, but they'll just say, "Oh, this is Kate's suit." She'll wear that for 2 or 3 episodes, and then she'll get some sort of redesign. I've seen that gray suit. I reckon that's going to look terrible in live action.
I wouldn't want that. I kind of like. I know it's crazy, but I kind of like the Tiffany Fox suit that we saw in the comics. I would love to see that, maybe a darker pink, but I love the style of it.
I think they're going to keep the red. I think they're going to keep the red no matter what. If anything, it's going to be like the outer color, which would change. I could see them changing it to like a light charcoal color to maybe mix in that gray. But the whole promotional and like insignia on the show is the red Batwoman symbol. Yeah. It's on everything. I don't think they can change it.
Yeah. Shane here with the $5 super chat says, I think she needs to be Tiffany Fox because the only plot thread that can really be picked up is the murder of Lucius Fox after Kate leaving. Maybe. I mean, I see you don't think they're going to do it, but I think that it's a very easy thing to them just pull up like a long lost sister or something like that. I think that is a soap opera thing. I think they could totally do it, but Tiffany Fox is a character that would require them to spend money to use that name.
Yeah, the whole point. Look at the freaking thing on screen.
Yeah,
it's an original Arrowverse character. It's not.
It says here that many fans wonder whether producers of Batman to create an original Arrowverse character to replace Kate Kane. Some feel it would be better to introduce another character for the Batman family, while others think it would be more natural to have the Cape and Cowl go to characters on the show like Julia. But it goes through here about like all the legal reasons why they should use their own character. I mean, it's just. It's for them. It's a much better fit, but I think Tiffany Fox. I'm not saying that it's not an option. I'm saying that it's probably unlikely. That's just me. Let's see here. Amethyst. Do I know CW fall and spring schedules? It looks like many are not coming back in the fall. Thank you for the $5 and being part of Team Airrick. Amethyst, as always. So the fall schedule is literally just January. Like when the shows come back, they'll come back in January and they will run till like late spring. And then we'll have like maybe 45 or 60 days. And then the shows will be coming back. It's going to be very quick. And as far as I know, that's how they're going to do it. It's not a normal like fall spring schedule. So do I have that right or is that wrong? I'm pretty sure that's the way they're doing it, correct?
Well, it's not right or wrong, but
yeah.
They have a fall schedule, but the only actual show on there that's new is Supernatural. Supernatural's finishing off its last 7 or 8 episodes.
I thought she meant just for the Arrowverse shows, but
and Swamp Thing's there, and then when we get to January, which is like the mid-season,
I still don't know what they're going to do with Swamp Thing, but it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah. So yes, hopefully that answered your question, Amethyst. I'm not really totally sure. Let's see here. Any super chats on this? What is that like a flute? What is that noise? I don't know what that is. Let's see. Somebody was saying that there was no Batwoman fan that was excited about this, and I was trying to find that. Either. Victor here says, any idea what storyline they could use this in the comics? I don't think it's going to be a comic storyline.
Not there. There's one. The thing is that like I've seen people say they have to restructure the entire show, and it's like I don't think. I think the only fat that needs to be trimmed heading into season 2 is probably Sophie and Julia. I think they should probably go. I think they probably should have gone in anyway, regardless even if Ruby was staying. But I think they're the obvious. See you out the door, please. Don't knock your head on the way out. Like, I don't see how they are relevant because the whole thing was like it was a love triangle. I'm already dreading it that they're going to somehow force it that Ryan Wilder somehow gets is the replacement in that love triangle. Took out one corner, in comes Ryan. And
now it's even more shifty because now Kate's not a factor, so it's like you have this new person, and I mean, they could do it. They could, but I think it's a bad move. It's such a bad move.
Like I've seen like Jacob's easy. Jacob, you can see it that he's like if Kate, he might think that Kate's dead, and he might think that Batwoman's responsible. So there's automatic. They can just make it that's what that was. He still hates Batwoman, which continues on from last season, and he still has that love for Kate, so it still continues. Luke's the easiest character. Luke's literally the easiest character because he's going to track down the suit, and that's how he gets tied into it.
Well, Luke is the connection to everything at Wayne, so it makes the most sense. You know,
I'll tell you what, Nicole Kang, I think that's her name, who plays Mary. She must be going, thank the Lord the writers did what they did in those last handful of episodes, and I'm a part of Team Batwoman. Otherwise, I'd probably be getting cut.
Yeah,
she would be gone. True. She wouldn't be. She would actually be the most irrelevant character if what had happened to her hadn't happened in that last. When did she was only in there for like the last 3 or 4 episodes, I think.
Yeah.
So she just got in there. That's like, wow. That's like getting to the shops just before closing time and getting the last bottle of milk because she just got in. She's very, I would honestly say very lucky that she got in.
Mercenary here says, do you think they'll make a tie-in comic to explain who Ryan Wilder's character is? No, probably not. Because they're trying to bring everybody to the show. I'm not saying that character will never come to the comics, but I don't think they'll do one.
Well, I think they will, but it wouldn't surprise me if they make it that eventually it's just a Batwoman on Earth 6 or something like that. And that's the character.
I will say this, though. I think one of the biggest problems they're going to have with this, if you look at everything on the show right now, not counting the love triangles because I don't care about those, is Alice, because Alice was so riveting because of her connection with Kate. So having her now not connected to Batwoman in that way is going to make it really difficult for her to justify not just locking Alice up or hurting Alice or whatever it may be. Because before, the only reason Alice got so many breaks is because Kate gave her a lot of breaks. So how do you think that's even going to connect? Any ideas on that? I mean, I don't know.
What, in regards to what Alice's motivation?
Yeah, like what will be the reason at this point? Because originally,
well, she could be like, well, she might think that Kate's dead as well, and be like, oh, I didn't get to kill her, so I'm going to just harass this Batwoman. I know it's a bit weak, but it's fairly easy.
I feel like that takes away because Alice was so good because of that connection. That's what made her so interesting.
Yeah, like they have opened themselves up to a really messy situation. As I said, it's going to be messy no matter what for that first. I'd say 3. You can honestly extend it a bit more depending on how fast they go through things. But it's going to be messy. Like as we're saying, Kate Kane recast was the easiest way to do it, but we know why they did this. But they are setting themselves up for some turbulent times in that opening few episodes, and we know that the actress is probably going to cop the brunt of the stuff. Like if it's a messy story, you know that a lot of people are just going to target her.
I mean, that's the biggest problem is that anything that goes wrong with this, she's going to get blamed for it no matter what it is.
Yeah. I said in my video when she got cast, I was like, she's got big balls. Honestly, you'd have to have big balls to do this. Even if it was a recast of Kate. I think, and that's the easy one. That's the one that comes with less pressure.
Did you hear the rumor that they couldn't recast, and I only thought of this because I was reading through this article for a second, that they couldn't recast Kate Kane because Ruby Rose contractually was locked into that character for TV?
Like the image. Wouldn't surprise me. Or that had to be some sort of payout.
Right. Yeah. Did I miss your super chat, Stagger? Let me see. I mean, it's possible that I did. Let me look and see where it's at. Let's see. It looks like I did. Staggermore said the only downside to the new Batwoman is that the character literally has no connection to Bruce Wayne or anyone else in the Bat family. Thank you for that, Staggermore. Appreciate it. Sorry I missed that. Glad you brought it to my attention. So he's saying that's the only downside to this. And I actually think in some ways it might be a benefit to the character, but because that connection was kind of holding everything to Bruce Wayne. With this character now, Bruce Wayne doesn't even have to be a thing, honestly.
Yeah. Like they could just be.
Is that good or bad though? That's the question. Is that good or bad? I mean, I don't know.
Well, no, the guy that got cast as Bruce Wayne and like the Hushverse must be going there. Like the Hush version must be sitting there going like, "Oh, Jesus Christ, Ruby, you've ruined my job as well."
So I see, Tom, you posted this a few times, and I jumped onto it because I already knew this, but I'll throw it up here now since you want me to toss it up. They didn't want to kill off Kate because the writers didn't want to follow the stereotypical barrier gaze trope. I get it. I understand the reasoning behind it, but it's affecting the storytelling.
Yeah, but like, so even though they're not literally burying Kate's character, they are as well.
They are. Like,
they may as well.
Right. So no, it's okay, Tom. Totally okay. I will address this. I mean, I feel like if you're not going to bring her back and you have no intention of recasting, why not do it? Because we're not going to kill off Kate, but we're never bringing her back either. How is that any different? I feel like it's so superficial. But I understand that's the reason why. I just think that it's kind of not. I mean, it's basically the same thing. Here we go, Mr. Knight. They never should have introduced Batwoman in the Arrowverse, to be honest. Is that a hot take?
That doesn't make sense, to be completely honest. At least give some context to that reasoning or that thought.
By the way, I just read up that apparently Javicia has trained in Muay Thai. So she's actually got some martial arts background. So
yeah, I saw that, and then someone posted a video of her doing training the other day, and she like wasn't very good.
Oh, okay. Well,
yeah, but it was like I don't know what it was like. It was like a punching. It was like it was Muay Thai. Like it was punching and kicking, but I think the trainer just had the bag too high. I think that's what it was because she sort of like stumbled on the kick. But the thing is, she's not going to do it anyway. They're not going to. That doesn't even really matter. They're going to get the stunt actor to do it.
Yeah.
The only thing is if they need her
to do like a front-facing scene.
It's like with Katie Lotz. It's like with Katie Lotz. If they can have like a front-facing scene, yeah, like you're saying, they don't have to do a cut to the leg or something like that. They can just show the whole body. So yeah.
Well, because a lot of times you can't get in front of the fight because it is a stunt person. So at least in this ways, if they want to do like a punching shot or something like that, she can actually do it. So
yeah, like I think the only ones that have done that are Katie.
Yeah,
I think Steven did it. But I think even he's stopped in later seasons. I think they made him stop. And then I guess Javicia is going to do it if they let her.
I had to put this up. Thoughts on Jim Carrey as elongated man leak? I think that's a fake leak, right? There's no way that's real.
That was a Photoshop, yeah.
Oh, geez. I wouldn't want to see. He's way too old to play that role anyway. So
his show got cancelled. That Kidding show got cancelled today, so he's available.
Yeah.
They won't recast Ralph. If they recast Ralph, I'll be shocked.
Would you watch a Catwoman series? Probably not. I mean, just being honest.
God, what would she do? Just jump?
It's hard to. So this is the tough thing about Batwoman, and I do agree that Batwoman is kind of problematic in the same way that Supergirl was. It's hard to release a family member from a superhero that's should be around. So to do a Catwoman show without the other Bat family members around, it would be kind of weird, honestly. So it begs the question: should she get her own show, or should you just put her on a show with Batwoman or something? So let's see. I guess we could talk about, because I saw some comments about it earlier, the Green Arrow and the Canary show going to streaming. I just wanted to mention it. Why would that even be a thing? I mean, why would they put it on streaming? I don't understand.
They wouldn't want to put it on the CW streaming service, I don't think, for one reason. And then it can't go to any of the other streaming services in America. Right. You lose so much of your viewership. You'd whack stuff on there that isn't going to be popular on streaming. So it's cheap to produce.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think they'd just be making a complete loss. There'd be no profitability there.
Right.
I just don't see how that.
And
works.
do you think that Kat would want to go to a show that was strictly on CW?
No, she'd want to be a front and center on a billboard or something like that. Like,
oh, let's see. Weather Girl Flash fan. Javisi is actually brave to take the role. I'm an Aspire actress, but I would never take a recast role unless I was desperate. I'm going to comment on the first part of this comment. Is she's absolutely brave. I'm curious to see how she's going to handle all the negativity that's coming her way, because I can be positive all day, but the videos where they're trashing her are going to get like hundreds and thousands of views because there are people that love that. And so I'm just curious how she's going to handle it. I mean, we've talked about this before. You and I have talked about this many times on stream. Anyway, go on with your statement.
Idiot is making it because Batwoman's over. He's doing the same thing on Stargirl, but he's treating Stargirl like it's some sort of feminist propaganda. Mm. Jesus Christ. So I saw that. Someone linked it to me and I was like, surely not. This must just be a meme. But he's literally doing, I can't remember what his name is.
Yeah.
Honestly, he honestly looks like he hang around playgrounds. Let's be completely honest. But he's like doing the exact same thing with Stargirl they did with Batwoman. Like going through the episodes and going like, you thought it could have got worse? Oh, here it comes now. It's not the quartering. It's like some other dude. As I said, it looks like he hangs around playgrounds with his mobile phone.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what his name is. If I saw the picture, I'd be able to bring it up. Like say, oh yeah, that's him.
I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not even looking for it. But yes. So I don't want to. I will say this, and this is one of the things that kind of bugs me is people use the term like forced diversity all the time.
Woke.
And my question is,
woke? Are you woke?
When can you ever cast a character who isn't the status quo where someone can go, you know what, that's not forced. It's just it's natural. It's always anytime someone that's cast that doesn't fit into the status quo, immediately it's like, oh, it's forced. It's forced. It's forced. I don't understand. There's no way to introduce a character into a fandom without complaints about it being forced when it's not what you normally see. So there's a no-win situation. So the channels that go into that whole tirade about that, and there's so many of them, I just sit back and I'm like, can you at least give the show a chance? Like, give it a chance to come out. Fair enough if it's crap after it comes out, but to see so many videos actually just hating on this stuff immediately, I don't get it. I don't get it. It's crazy to me. And yeah. There's so many names being like, I'm not even gonna say no because the comment section knows exactly the channels that we're talking about. Like, I don't even have to.
Well, someone said the quartering is at least married, but it's also important to remember John Wayne Gacy was also married. So just keep that in mind.
Oh, that I don't know about that comparison. I don't know. I don't know the quartering well enough to know.
That he's John Wayne Gacy.
No, I don't watch it. Like, I've only seen like 2 of his videos. I don't click on his videos, so I don't know enough about him to compare him to anything like that.
Wait, I thought you were anti-woke, Eric.
Anti-woke? Anti-woke. Yeah. Wait, I don't understand. No, I'm not anti-woke. I don't know where I had to think about that. Like, what is that? What are you saying?
Eric is woke.
No.
Eric is woke firmed.
I believe that so, and we've talked about this in the past, and I'm going to leave it at this because I think that it's just getting redundant.
Oh, is this a mic drop moment?
It's not a mic drop moment. It's a personal reflection. So, good night, Amethyst. Have a good night. Sleep well. So I guess the comic book that resonates with me the most, and again, I've mentioned this before, I know I have, is like the 1980s X-Men, which was the Chris Claremont, John Byrne, John Romita Jr. run, where it was like a lot of these really rich stories about allegories to characters who are being treated like as second-class citizens just for having powers or looking different. And they did a lot of great stories where they introduced just a diverse amount of characters. And growing up, I felt like we were progressing towards a point where we're reaching this idea that you just go in for the quality of the work. You don't really care too much about, who's coming in. You just kind of wait and you see, and you treat everybody equally. And this is the mindset that I was having when I was growing up. And so it formed me as a person as I got older. And it's just hard for me to see like comic book fans, and I don't even know if they're all my age or maybe they might be younger, I don't know, who seem to want to gatekeep people from coming into the fandom. When I was younger, comic book fans were gate kept out of a lot of things. Like you couldn't be a sports person, you couldn't do anything that was perceived non-geeky or non-nerdy because you read comic books. So it's weird for me now in 2020 to see people trying to gatekeep new people experiencing comic books. So it's a weird thing for me because I feel like that's what comic books was accepting of like everyone. So I see a lot of these channels with people who I guess missed the memo on that. I don't know. Is it me? Because people say that comics aren't political or social, but all the ones I read almost always touched on stuff like that. And maybe it wasn't
like, people keep saying that like nowadays, oh my God, comic. And also, funnily enough, like, you know how people say, oh, comics are dying because they're getting too political in SJW.
Right.
Comics like had their most successful year this past
financial year. Yeah, I saw that.
They made like huge increase. They increase every year. They make more money every year that goes on. But anyway, you see people saying, oh, it's all political and stuff. Have you read a comic from the 1980s?
Yeah.
It's super political.
No, have you read comics from the Golden Age? Like, there's some from the Golden Age that were super political. Matter of fact, comic books in some ways were created as like anti-war rhetoric. I mean, that was kind of
propaganda,
what they were.
Like anti, like against like the Nazis and stuff like that. Like Captain America, just himself as a character fights against that. So once again, it's people like to use like keywords, and it's keywords they don't understand. Like the biggest one I always see, and I'm sure you've seen this a lot, and I'm sure a lot of people in the comments might have seen this, is the term identity politics. People don't even know what that means.
Right.
Like it's hilarious that people use that, and then they just use general things about like SJW and various things like that, and like obviously your favorite word of woke.
Overused. It has no meaning anymore.
It pretty much, it's the meaning is gone. Like it's so dry. Like if you use woke, you may as well get slapped across the head. As some sort of like
I really it kind of baffles me to watch people do these gymnastics in their mind to create a reason to gatekeep people that want to come into the. Shouldn't we want more people to love this stuff? I mean, I feel like that's kind of the point. Like, this isn't a situation where they're subtracting characters from the roster or they're erasing superheroes. They're adding new heroes. They're adding new characters.
It's not like they're taking Batman. It's not like they're taking Bruce Wayne, taking him out, and it's Barbara Wayne or something like that. Right. They're not doing that. They're just bringing in another character, whoever it might be. It's like with this the thing that they're going to bring in, like, I don't know if they're still doing it now, which was the Generation 5, I think it was, or the new generation for DC Comics.
Yeah.
And they weren't replacing them. Bruce Wayne didn't exist anymore. It was just younger takes on the characters with different, like, passing on the mantle. It's just going to be like this series. Like, people lose their minds over everything. And the irony of it is that I reckon about 75% of the people that are complaining don't touch the comics.
Right.
If not more, you might be heading more into like the 80s.
Yeah.
In regards to the percentage, in regards to people that don't touch the comics. Ask them a freaking question about, okay, you complaining about Superman. What happened to the most recent Superman run? Like, they wouldn't be able to reply because they wouldn't have any idea.
So there's two comments here I'm going to pull up. This is one of them. Politics can be fine in media as long as it's not ridiculously preachy. And I've said this before. This is why I always reference the X-Men, because the X-Men are my best example of a comic book that tackled real world issues, but kept it within their fantasy world. And they made it make sense within their fantasy world. If you can do that with your stories, and then I'm on board with it. I absolutely agree that there's a lot of lazy writing on some of the shows where they just take things from like Facebook and Tumblr and places like that, and they put it into their script. And I don't like that either. But I think to assume that there's nothing political or social in comic books, you just haven't really read comics, or you've missed the point completely. The other one here that I saw was from Fresh Sounds, Florida. He says the argument is that the writers of now aren't as good as the ones before. So this is something that as you get older, like when you're ancient like me, you have to sort of accept that not everything that comes out is for you. Like, there's going to be stories that are meant to resonate with people much, much younger than you, and you may not get it. And that doesn't mean that the writing isn't necessarily good. Maybe it's not up to what your personal standards are, but it resonates with people of a different generation or ages or whatever it may be. And so I think the idea that we're allowed to tell people that they can't have stories because they're not the ones that we want to read, I think that's gatekeepy to me, and I don't like that at all. I think that we should give people an opportunity. I can complain about writing all day because I'm critiquing or criticizing, but I can't tell people what they can or can't write. And I'm not saying you are Fresh Comes Florida. I'm just using your statement as like reminding people of like, you have to give people the opportunity to do these stories, because if they fall on their face, let them fall on their face. But you can't necessarily say that, oh, well, they can't do it or whatever. That's just how I feel about it. Just a little bit thoughts, so get me off my soapbox there for a second. But any thoughts at all on this before we wrap things up? Because it got way heavy there at the end. So
the only thing I can say is that Eric is now the hashtag woke king.
Okay.
We will now be petitioning for Eric to change his
give me a crown
Twitter name to just woke king. And whenever you tweet at Eric, you have to reply with hashtag get woke. Yeah, that's pretty much the only thing I have to add to that.
Yeah. Okay. So I will say this, you guys, honestly, and I appreciate your support, because it is hard to find support when you don't ride the hate train for everything. It really is. I think YouTube's algorithm is designed to support those kinds of videos. So to have you guys coming over and supporting me when I'm making content that's sort of up and down. I've made my share of videos of stuff that I don't like. I'm not saying that doesn't happen, but I think there's specifically content out there that is made. I don't even know if it's called hate content. I don't know what you would call it, but yeah, it is what it is. Either way, look, guys, give stuff a chance. If it's not for you, go back and read your favorite comics. They're still there. Trust me. I read mine all the time. So we got some dad jokes, quote unquote.
I have 2 jokes, but they're not dad jokes. So
okay.
Yeah, but
they're just bad jokes? Just bad jokes?
They're just jokes. Hopefully you have a good laugh at them.
All right. So am I going first or are you going first?
You go first.
All right. What is a sorcerer's favorite subject?
Witchcraft.
Spelling.
God.
Got you with that one. That was a good one.
Okay.
All right, which one?
Okay, I'll go with the shorter one first, because the longer one's going to take a bit.
All right.
Why couldn't Stevie Wonder see his mates?
Because he's blind?
No, because he's got a girlfriend.
That was too easy. I walked into that one. It was obvious.
Is that edgy?
Yeah, it was very edgy. All right. What did the leopard say after dinner?
Call me spotty because I'm full.
It was close, but that hit the spot. There we go.
Oh yeah, okay.
Go I know that was a bad one. Boo, boo.
All right, that deserves a boo. Okay, here we go. Here's the end, the final joke. Okay, it's a long one. You don't have to reply either.
All right.
Okay, so there's a guy driving along with a penguin in the front passenger seat of his car. He gets pulled over by the police, and the officer says, like, look, mate, you can't do that. That's illegal. You're gonna have to take the penguin to the zoo. So he goes, yeah, okay, that's fine. So the guy just drives off. That's fine. He just drives off with the penguin. They're going to the zoo. The very next day, the exact same police officer pulls over the exact same car with the same driver, and the penguin's still in the passenger seat. So the officer says, look, what are you doing, mate? I told you to take him to the zoo. And the driver says, yeah, I did. We had such a good time taking him to the movies now.
Oh, geez. Those truly were bad jokes. Those were bad. Rate our jokes in the comment section below. What would you give them out of a 10? We have hashtag Eric is the woke king with a $5 super chat. Today I watched Boba's stream, Chainsaws, Canada Graphs, Pages, and Yours So Many. Eric, have you started the Harley Quinn TV show, and have you finished season 2? So I guess you're talking about the animated one. No, I have not finished it, but I'm enjoying it. It is crazy, and that is a show that that you don't take seriously at all. Just saying. But I love your hashtag name. Are you watching Harley Quinn on DC Universe at all?
I've started season 2. I think I'm about halfway through season 2.
What do you think of it? Do you like it, or is it not your cup of tea? All right, so let's go ahead. Wait, was there another one there? Wait, was it the same one? Hold on. Oh, it shows up twice. I don't know if you meant to send that. Oh, there it goes. There we go. It's this one. $5 super chat. It says, also, Eric, we're always here for you no matter the backlash. We don't always see eye to eye, but I respect your opinion. Keep it up, man. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. That's one of the things that people seem to forget sometimes on my videos is you can have whatever opinion you want, but some people just get really upset. So that doesn't deserve, look, where's it at right here? That doesn't deserve a rating. Also, hail to the woke king. You've started something now. It's really never ending. So, anyway, thank you guys so much for stopping in to this hashtag after party. We'll see what kind of news we get next week, and maybe it'll be something crazy.
I'll tell you what, though.
Yeah,
I'm disappointed. I thought that penguin joke was an absolute cracker.
Did you?
I thought that was a great joke, and I'm disappointed, honestly. Like,
oh, okay.
I'm treating everyone in the chat as if they are an anti-woke person.
Oh,
you are all geeks and gamers to me at the moment.
That is
except the people that laughed at the joke. Then you are all the DC TV show to me. If you enjoyed the joke,
say it again. How's he say it? Harry Potter.
I got crumpets, crumpets and marmalade.
Oh, geez.
And a nice cup of tea with milk.
Bye, everybody. See you.